I am.
I so serious. You're a wizard, Harry.
Well, it's fun. Life finds a way.
Welcome to Jurassic Park. To infinity and beyond.
You're long and prosperous. Winter is coming.
I am the one who knocks.
There's no place like home.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Сыграем. Welcome to the Take 16 podcast, everybody. A brand new show here at WNDU. I'm Benjamin Slack. That is Miles Deering. The Take 16 podcast is the brand new show that is going to be bringing you all the latest news from the Hollywood Hills this week, as well as review of the films that came out this previous week. Miles, are you excited for this?
Yes, I mean, we got a bunch of exciting movies on the docket, a little bit of horror, some comedy, some things that, family movies, a well-rounded docket to talk about today. So, yes, I am thrilled.
Sometimes it's a little both horror and comedy mixed into one film.
Yes, indeed, for sure.
In fact, the movie that we'll be talking about, its trailer actually premiered with the film that we are going to be talking about right now. Scream 7 is out right now. It is the highest grossing film in the Scream franchise. It earned $64.1 million just here in the United States alone in a span of 3 days. Miles, did you see Scream 7 this weekend?
I have not seen Scream 7. It is on my docket, but one thing I will say is there is something to be said about a format that just works. Mm-hmm. And when you come to the Scream franchise, you're thinking, how do you get to 7 movies? Well, you only get to 7 movies by getting something that the people want to see. And so, but looking at the trailer, looking at everything that's coming out about the movie, it definitely has remnants and elements of all the things that make the Scream franchise loved.
So let me ask you then, have you seen all the other Scream films?
I haven't seen all the other Scream films, but I've definitely seen some of the earlier films, especially coming up as a younger kid, so yeah.
Well, Scream is very popular for satirizing and paying tribute to other horror movies of the past. In fact, if you think about it, if you look back at the history, the first film was supposed to be a one-and-done thing to pay tribute to the slasher movies that were in the 70s and 80s, starting with Psycho, When a Stranger Calls, Black Christmas, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's the main reason Scream was actually created. It was meant to be a one-and-done thing, but because of that, because of the popularity, it grew into its own franchise and basically bought the slasher horror genre back. And here we are 30 years later, Neve Campbell is back as Sidney Prescott, and honestly, if I were to say anything about the movie, it's kind of mixed, I thought. I did see it this weekend. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really good either. But it gave the fans what they wanted, and it definitely has an approval, I think.
No, so I haven't seen the movie yet, but just from the trailer, the elements of, I'm not hiding, or the wordplay, the psychological thriller that is the enemy that's known, and in the case of this franchise with recurring characters, known very well, been trying to escape for the duration of Sydney's character, like her entire time in this franchise. So it does have that feel of, okay, we know this, we know how this feels like, we know this thrill, we know this voice, we know the psychological games, and I think it's probably going to be a blast when I do go see it.
Excellent. I hope you like it. I hope you like it as much as I did. I ended up giving it a C on the Slacker scale as far as a ranking. Again, not the worst one, but not the best either. I'd sandwich it maybe right in the middle between Scream 2 and Scream 5.
Okay.
But you know what, Miles? A lot like our Avengers Doomsday podcast that we did on the Slack on Flick Show, you remember how those trailers, those little teasers for each of the new characters coming were premiering with Avatar Fire and Ash?
Yes.
Well, guess what premiered with the trailer of... Scream 7's release?
Bring it, Ben.
Scary Movie 6.
Yes, man. The Scary Movie, so once again, this movie, I grew up seeing these scary movies, from Scary Movie 3, Scary Movie 4, Scary Movie 2. I mean, the franchise itself is already a blast, but seeing this in tandem with Scream coming out and seeing the ghost face, the impossible to miss character on screen, freaking hilarious.
Seeing the parody ghost face before you see the real ghost face.
Exactly, and it's a gut laugh too. You see the Wayans come on screen, and it's impossible to not at least give it a little chuckle while seeing them.
Oh, exactly. And the coolest thing about this one is that all these characters are back years later. I mean, right off from the bat, we got Anna Faris imitating Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween 2018. Both Wayans brothers are back. Regina Hall is back.
Yes.
It's going to be hilarious. What's your favorite thing about the Scary Movie franchise?
Honestly, I just they're, at least from what I'm seeing in this Scary Movie that's coming out, they're looking at some of the hottest horror movies that have been out in the past couple years. I mean, everything from A Quiet Place to I think we see a little bit of Get Out in there. I mean, there's a list of scary movies that I think Long Legs was another one that was featured, and I loved Long Legs. But I'm sitting here looking at like the fact that you have these movies that are like really good at what they do in terms of the anxiety, the stress that comes with the horror genre, and you can look and pop that stress bubble and give you a gut laugh or an interpretation that's just comical in its nature, whether it be slap happy or thought provoking. I think that's the part about your scary movies that make those movies special.
Well, the one that definitely caught my eye was right off the start of the trailer. They're already parodying Scream 6 with on the subway and everything, but then you see tributes of both past and present horror franchise. It opens up with somebody wearing a Jason mask as Jason Voorhees, clearly referencing Jason Takes Manhattan, and then it goes to Leatherface, the Hard Eyes Killer, and then the one that really caught my eye and made me laugh out loud, Megan. Showing up in there.
Megan, isn't Megan seen dancing like this?
She does the Megan dance, or whoever's wearing the Megan mask in that film.
It was Megan in the trailer. She's like on cam with the mask. She takes the mask off, and then there's Ghostface Killer.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here we go.
And, oh my goodness! That killer just stabbed that girl. I'm not a girl. It's they, them.
in the middle of the plot.
In the middle of a plot, yeah. With a stab wound in the chest.
I'm sorry, I can't. We can't be friends. I'm a Republican now. It's like, I thought all white people were racist. Come here, girl. Give me a hug. And then the commentator, you got the Wayans in the background, like, and then there's at the beginning of the trailer, as soon as it starts off, they're referencing Jenna Ortega at the beginning of Scream 5, but she has the Wednesday hair, and they're like, it's okay, Tuesday. Literally, so they're gonna cross. If you're a fan of horror, I feel like this movie is gonna cross over so many different genres, and it's gonna be coming at a time where it's like June is a month. You know what I'm saying? Just warming up outside. The jackets are coming off. You're hitting those 60s and 70s, and now you head to the theater and you got a scary movie coming out. Good laughs, good vibes, poking fun of the horror genre. Like, it does have reminiscence of this is going to be coming out at a pivotal time, a happy time, and like the vibes will be high when this movie hits the theaters for sure.
Oh, for 100% sure. I think it's going to be great. Judging from the trailer, they definitely hyped it up, definitely. And, it's been a long time since we got the last scary movie, so the hype is definitely high. And I like to remain positive in everything. So, just hope it's another good laugh. Hope it has some good scares. And it's just a nice nostalgia trip for anybody who grew up watching them. I think they're already doing that, because from the premise alone, they're saying that they're going to be going after anybody that has close ties to reboots and final chapters, and basically this new trend that we are in with the horror genre, or just the movie genre in general, because almost everything is becoming a legacy sequel, as they would call it, like a passing of the torch type film. It's a sequel, but it also can be considered a reboot of the franchise. Very much like Scream 5 was with Scream, or Halloween 2018 was with Halloween 1979. Or honestly, in my opinion, I think the best film of this recent trend that's been going on is probably Creed with the Rocky franchise.
Yeah, so we're definitely seeing a bunch of reboots out of Hollywood, but I think that's the point of comedy. That's the point of your spoofs. Those movies are designed to challenge what is the status quo, challenge what has been growing in popularity, what are the mainstream trends. And so I think it's pivotal when we're talking about we're getting a bunch of reboots, or what may to some feel like a cyclical nature in the entertainment that we're getting. I think it is crucial to have a scary movie come in and say, all right, let's hold up a mirror to what's been produced and make you laugh about it.
Well, I think this actually acts as a nice segue into our next film that's coming out actually this weekend, along with the animated film. We'll get to the animated adventure in a second, but we have The Bride.
What happened?
You had an accident.
An accident, huh?
We dug you up, and we brought you back to life.
And this is basically going to be like a, I'll say, legacy modern take on the Bride of Frankenstein from the Universal Monsters franchise. Now, Miles, have you seen any of the classic Universal Monster films from like the 30s, 40s, or 50s?
So I have not seen the traditional, but I took a couple minutes to read up on this original, the original Frankensteins. And something I've been seeing is that the 1935 release of, I think it was
The Bride of Frankenstein.
Exactly, was incredibly popular.
It was.
Coming out, and they said it was one of the best sequels ever made. I mean, and I think it was in 95 or 96, it got submitted into the Library of Congress. And so in terms of the ether that is film history, I was unaware or unconscious of the role that the Bride of Frankenstein played in not just the horror genre, but in the movie field as well.
Oh, yes. As you said, Bride of Frankenstein, it was one of the first sequels actually ever made, and it is definitely among the very popular, and honestly is one of the not so many sequels, well, maybe one of 15 that are considered better than the original. And I'm, like I said, I like to remain positive at everything, but I love the Universal Monsters franchise. That was my introduction to film. That was my introduction to horror. So that is actually my favorite franchise of all time.
Mr. Slacklore, the Slacklore entering the chat.
Yeah, Slacklore continues.
Okay, man.
Hopefully we can get some Deering lore soon.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Let's start talking about a football life, and then we'll bend some genres here, Ben.
Oh my god. Maybe we'll do a whole episode on sports films coming up.
Oh,
I'd be down for that.
Don't tempt me with a good time. I got some words on Blindside.
Oh, Blindside? Okay. All right. Very good movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
But no, The Bride is going to be a modern take on The Bride of Frankenstein, and is starring Christian Bale, and who I'm predicting right now is going to be Best Actress winner for Hamnet, Jessie Buckley, as the titular character. But we also have Penelope Cruz, we have Annette Bening, we have Jake Gyllenhaal, and this film is actually written and directed by his sister, Maggie Gyllenhaal, who was in The Dark Knight with Christian Bale. We got family and friends connections in this film.
Full circle moment. When I tell you, I'm excited for this movie because I've seen Jessie Buckley in Hamnet, and
amazing performance.
I'm rubbing my chest because just gut wrenching, just absolutely like put the knife in your gut and freaking turn it. Like,
yes,
that's what we saw in her. But then you look at this trailer and you're looking at the depth of emotion, like even just some of the dialogue that they explained in the trailer, where they're going, "Why would you choose a dead woman?" You know what I'm saying? And I think he says, "Well, I'm dead too." Or it's funny because you look at this trailer and you look at like 1935, like even the trailer that was out for the 1935 Bride of Frankenstein says, I think it said Frankenstein needs a mate.
Yeah,
in the campy 1935 horror way, but. You look at this and then you look at the shots, like if we could pull it back up, where they're like paralleling each other through the big room and stuff like that, or just like the relationship. I'm really excited to see what is a quirky, almost like I love romance, you know what I'm saying, type of feel that we're getting from this trailer.
Well, it's a very different type of Frankenstein film too. Not just because it's going to be it is going to be taking place in the 1930s. It's going to be taking place in Chicago, so we're going to have some mob and gangster dealings going on. See if they cross paths with Dillinger or Babyface Nelson at all. But there's some more Ben Slack lore. I'm also a big true crime buff, so.
Oh, here we go. We're getting into it today.
But never thought the pilot of this series was going to be a whole Ben Slack get to know me, but. Perhaps episode 2 will be a Miles one. But they seem to be giving The Bride a lot more depth and a lot more identity to her, judging from the trailer and premise alone. Because a lot of people don't realize, even though The Bride of Frankenstein, the Universal Bride of Frankenstein, is such a popular character, many people don't realize that out of the 30 films that are considered the Universal Monster Connected Universe canon, The Bride is only in one film for 5 minutes. She shows up at the end of her film, The Bride of Frankenstein, and then she never appears again. That's it. That's the last time we actually ever see the classic Bride of Frankenstein look.
So, spoiler alert for me, did not
Sorry.
know that. So, I think that's crazy that you literally have the character's name in the movie title, just for 5 minutes of screen time.
Yep.
But, yeah, that's wild.
Well, needless to say, back then in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, when those films were coming out, you could say that they were the first connected universe because they actually did start off as solo films, and then along down the line, they actually did start crossing over with each other with a lot of the same actors. The Universal Monsters technically pioneered the cinematic universe, while the Marvel Cinematic Universe perfected the idea. So there you go.
Okay,
It's actually true.
Today, man.
Yep.
I'm with it.
But yeah, and the main reason I say pioneered the cinematic universe is because a lot of continuity in it. What makes the Universal Monsters series back then fun is you could make up your own continuity on how everything connects. Because yeah, there are elements in there that they mention events from previous films. There's stuff that connects to other films in the franchise, especially with Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman and House of Frankenstein. But then there's also elements that they leave out. Like, wait a minute, how did this happen? How did this get there? That just makes it fun for the fans because then you can just make up your own bit of fan fiction and like how that connected. Like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he fell into the mud and then somehow it slid down to the Frankenstein ruins, stuff like that.
So that's, I think, one of the more fascinating things about reading about the Bride of Frankenstein, because like you said, this is the first time we have, or at least the pioneers of a cinematic universe. But one of the things that caught my eye was that they well, at least from what I was mentioning, is that production for the film I think started shortly after the release of the first Frankenstein movie. But the hangups and the delays came when we're talking about decisions over the script.
Yeah, well, the director of the original Frankenstein, James Whale, did not want to do a sequel to Frankenstein. He didn't want to do a sequel to really any of his classic films that he did, because he was an amazing filmmaker. I highly recommend checking out the film Gods and Monsters, which is his biopic. Ian McKellen does a fantastic job playing him, and he even got nominated for an Oscar for it. But yeah, the director James Whale did not want to do a sequel to Frankenstein. In fact, the ending that you see of the original Frankenstein, the final scene where Dr. Frankenstein is in bed with his wife and he's being cared to, was tagged on at the very last second because Universal wanted a happier ending and didn't want it to end with the classic scene of the burning windmill. But Frankenstein was a massive success a year before Dracula was a huge success, and Universal was like, they finally found their identity. You know, we can do these horror films, so let's do a sequel to our most popular film at the time. Well, James Whale did not want to do it, so he did the Invisible Man film, the original Invisible Man film, which is another masterpiece of science fiction horror. But then they finally got the idea to do Bride of Frankenstein, and it's a very, very different film compared to the first Frankenstein, but it's very, very well made, really questions the moral of one's decisions, one's identity, and the consequences of what could happen when you're peer pressured, I'll say. And I just heard you swallow the water once again.
Oh, no, that's we got to make sure that we're tuned up. That's all.
Well, it definitely showed up, so.
All right, talk to me, Ben.
All righty, so we're going to move on to the next film in here. Oh, I assume you're looking forward to The Bride.
Oh, 1,000%. No, that's definitely a must-see for me.
Thank goodness you said that, because I was wondering what it would be if you said, no, I'm not going to see it.
Nah, Christian Bale also has my heart, so...
He's an amazing actor. I mean, he can transform into anything. It's incredible.
Yes, indeed. I mean, everything from The Dark Knight to The Big Short, it's hard to miss, you know?
Mm-hmm. Or his Oscar-winning performance in The Fighter, he was fantastic in.
Come on, talk to me nice.
But another film we have coming up this same weekend, you know, if you're willing to do a double feature or something, you could see the Frankenstein monster and his bride cause terror in the streets of Chicago in the 1930s, or you can hop over to the next theater room over and see an animated feature about a young girl who's gonna jump into the body of a beaver and join a beaver colony and meet a lot of fun and amazing anthropomorphic characters in that film. I'm talking about Pixar's latest film that's coming out, Hoppers.
We created a revolutionary technology that gives us unprecedented access to the animal world. We call it Hoppers. Huh? We put this into this.
No, but we could talk about Pixar and just what appears to be a generational run that they've been on for basically the duration of my life. Mm-hmm. But I'm more fascinated about some of the themes that we're going to see in this movie. Like, just the context in our year 2026 with all the technological advancements that we have a character jumping into essentially transferring consciousness to a robotic
It's Avatar with animals, it seems to be.
Avatar with animals, with once again, just like Avatar having beautifully wide overarching themes, this movie is talking about preserving our environment, protecting our animals, the natural world, and some of the consequences, excuse me, that come. Hey, you want to make fun of me for drinking my water? I'm going to cough on camera, you hear me? But no, some of the consequences that come when we attack or the natural world, which is one of the big parts that you'll see in this movie, or at least in this trailer, where they're talking about some. We have to stop the expansion into some of these natural spaces. And so.
Very, very well said. I could tell you practice for this podcast. I mean, do you have a script like in front of you or something that you're reading off of? Do you have a prompter?
Hey, we're not gonna poke into the movie magic. All right, we're just gonna keep that behind the scenes. You got to check in for the BTS podcast for that.
All right. I don't know why I did the McConaughey impression. I usually only do that when I'm by myself or I'm doing something cool with the news.
You said I didn't always drive a Lincoln.
Take 16, the only podcast where you can see really true behind the scenes mannerisms of WNDU's producers.
Hey, listen, man, this is the water cooler discourse.
But Hoppers has a pretty stacked cast in it as well. Voice acting. I mean, we got John Hamm playing the mayor of this town that the story is going to be taking place in. We got Meryl Streep playing Queen of the Butterflies. We have Dave Franco playing the King of the Butterflies. We have Melissa Villaseñor from Saturday Night Live voicing Bear in it. Pixar definitely has a lot of magic from day one. Because, I mean, their first film, Toy Story, look at the cast they got in there. They had Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, John Ratzenberger. It's incredible.
Yeah, but they got a track record of touching the heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That emotional beat where, okay, we may have this fantastical thought process or fantastical plot where we're talking about talking animals in their world.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're gonna have these. You can almost bet your bottom dollar at some point in this movie they're gonna ask whether it be a philosophical or ethical question that's gonna tap into our real world that we face on a day to day, and there's gonna be an emotional heartbeat, whether it be the main character that is going back and forth between worlds, or like her motivations to preserve the world, or what's going to happen, which, spoiler alert, they bring it up in this trailer, when the animals and the bugs decide, okay, we're going to fight back. Like what does that look like? And so I'm not gonna lie, man, this is another one. This is another one we gotta go see in movies, man.
Well, I think Pixar was kind of ahead of its time regarding animated films, because, I mean, when animation was first starting out in the 1930s and 40s, yeah, they tackled a lot of adult themes and even showed a lot of adult imagery. But starting from like the Disney Renaissance in the 1980s and going throughout the 90s, animation was very much a kid's thing, and that's where I think people get the impression still today where like that's just kid stuff. But starting with Pixar, in fact, starting with the first Toy Story, and even now, a lot of animated features really do bring in those adult themes in there, like questioning decisions, questioning who you are, and questioning a lot of things within our real world. And they use animation to just bring that to the forefront in such a way that children can understand. And Pixar has been on a roll right now, I think. I mean, Elio, I think, was a bit of a mixed movie, but I thought Inside Out 2 was really good. I love the Toy Story movies. Monsters, Inc. was good.
I want to pivot, man. Now I want to pick your brain.
Mm-hmm.
What's your go-to Pixar movie?
My go-to Pixar movie? Toy Story 2. What? I absolutely
that's an all-timer for you?
Yes, that is my favorite Pixar film of all. I on my phone, I have a list of like all kinds of like top 10 lists and film rankings on there. I never know when I'm going to use them, but I just make those just for fun. And I do have a Pixar one on there. And yep, Toy Story 2 is number one. It's been number one. And unless a huge monumental film that like comes out, it's going to stay that way.
So, oh my God, what was the guy's name? What was the name of the toy barn that they had the commercial of in Toy Story 2?
The one that was voiced by Newman from Seinfeld and looked exactly like him. Al's Toy Barn.
Al's Toy Barn. There are so many groundbreaking images that are stuck in there, from like Buzz seeing all of those buzzes.
But they recreated the shot of Woody climbing up on the bed and seeing Buzz. They redid it in the second film, which saw Buzz climb up and see another Buzz with the utility belt.
Freaking nuts. And then you got like
Bless you.
They're trying to cross that street underneath that cone and stuff.
Oh my goodness, how many accidents they caused?
All the accidents that they caused, or even when he's inside and he's getting patched up by the the guy with the thread and stuff. And yeah, I think of Story 2, I think of like images, frames that are like glued into my mind, and so I respect that. Okay.
So needless to say, you love the Toy Story movies.
I definitely love the Toy Story movies, but if I had to get into like a Pixar movie that like made me feel like things, Soul, man.
Soul, yeah, that was very good. Released during the streaming time of Disney and Pixar because it came out right in the middle of the global pandemic that we all experienced 6 years ago already.
Soul is it's just such a beautiful movie. Like from the genre of like jazz and where he goes,
really good music.
He literally goes into a second place, almost ascends into the astral plane where he's playing piano and then he hears nothing, but then he feels everything at the same time. Or like his relationship with his mother, where he's like, "I just didn't want you to," I don't know what she said, but he's like having these real heart-to-heart mother conversations with his mother, dealing with after his dad is gone, and him trying to become himself, but he's still a music teacher. And then the one, even the young student that ascends into that space when you're playing jazz, like all of those themes, the themes of grief, death, like real adult tough topics
or even birth, because there's some souls in there that haven't even been born yet.
Exactly. And then just the line, the visualization of when his spirit ascends and then he just sees that line walking towards the light and he's like, no, I can't go towards the light. I can't go to it. Like, oh yeah.
It is a very magical movie. Pixar's Soul was very, very good. In fact, I would say that because at the time we had Incredibles 2 come out, Monsters University was coming out. Pixar was kind of in a rough place where they didn't really know what to do. They didn't really have all that original ideas. A lot of people were mixed on Brave. God, what was the movie that came out after that? The Good Dinosaur. They weren't doing the best, and their sequels were kind of getting mixed reactions, mostly positive, but there were some negatives in there. And then Soul came out during streaming of all times, and it really turned Pixar around. And I think ever since then, they've really had a hand on what they've been doing, because Luca came out after that. We've had Inside Out 2 come after that, which is considered one of the best sequels and Pixar films of all time. I agree with that. In fact, I think it's better than the first. But Pixar's Soul, I think, even the imagery in that film was just gorgeous. And I thought Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey had really good
Excellent
animation chemistry. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a favorite of mine for sure. So if we ever get into that point where we're talking top 5 Pixar lists, you know one for sure that's going to be on my list. I can tell you that much.
Well, there's another episode for you. So you would consider Soul your favorite Pixar film?
I think so.
You talk pretty highly of it, so I assume.
No, I think it's up there, but it's a but only because I think The Incredibles is a perfect movie. The first one.
The first PG animated film, too.
Like, I think if you had to teach a masterclass on storytelling, plot structure, character development, and having deeply rooted characters, if you have to teach a class on what happens when you enter a scene where both characters wholeheartedly think they're right, or if you say, hey, instead of doing a time jump or a timeline, we're going to have one scene where we're going to catch you up on 20 years of lore in one dialogue conversation, which is the scene where Mr. Incredible walks in and eats the cake, and they're and then they're topping over genres and all the kids are there. Like, The Incredibles, the first Incredibles, I think wholeheartedly is a perfect movie.
It is very well made.
Which is kind of why, like, even though Soul has my heart on, like, if I watch it today, I will be in tears by the end. I think The Incredibles is perfect. And then, I don't know about you, but I don't know I remember where I was at when I seen Woody and Buzz in the incinerator in Toy Story 3.
I was in the theater shutting my eyes with both my parents on either side of me.
Gut crying.
Wondering what was going to happen.
So you're like me then, was sitting there gut crying. I think I was 8 years old, didn't know what these feelings that I was feeling, but I'm like, this is horrible. Not Buzz, you know?
Well, Hoppers is coming out March 6th along with The Bride, so you can go see The Hoppers, or no, I got to come up with a better combo name than that. But
The Bride of Hopper?
We'll work on that. We'll have a name for it by the next episode. But one more question I got to ask you about Pixar before we move on to our final topic and our final release that is coming out this week. I need to ask you a very important question about Pixar.
Okay, hit me with it.
Where's my super suit?
I say, I am the greatest good you will ever have. You hear me?
You tell me where my suit is, woman.
I'm crying. No way you said, where's my super suit?
As soon as you mentioned Incredibles, that just popped into my head. And I have to look on YouTube because I wonder if anybody has made that a live action with AI. I have to assume somebody has done it by now because that would be absolutely hilarious to see.
Man, oh my God. Don't get me on a tangent, man. I'm going to start singing the Incredibles theme song if we keep going.
Oh my God. Okay, but you know what else is coming out this week, Miles?
Oh, yeah. Turn me up.
On Peacock.
Turn me up.
You
yeah.
can watch season 2 of Ted, the TV show, the TV series.
Can't believe we're halfway through senior year.
Yeah, time flies when you're stoned 15 hours a day.
I'm gonna go to college, having never had a girlfriend.
Hey, what about Erin? She's single.
Never happened though. She doesn't date dorks.
Hey, you never know.
Miles, have you seen any of the Ted films?
So, don't ask me plot by plot, but yes, I have seen Ted 1 for sure.
All right. How about Ted 2?
I haven't seen Ted 2 yet.
Ted 2 is arguably better. You know what? I take that back. Overall, I'd say Ted 1 is the better made film, but Ted 2 is much more entertaining. Just the cameos that Seth MacFarlane got to get in that film in general is just incredible.
Yeah, I imagine that's pretty awesome. But Ted is just as a bad influence.
Oh, 100% he is. Yes, he is the guy that you would want as your best friend, but you wouldn't want to take him to work with you on, like, bring your best friend to work day. Do places even have that?
I don't think that exists.
I don't think so. Okay. Well, then don't bring your... Nah, never mind. I was going to say, well, don't bring him on, like, special friends day at school. We had that at my school.
That's funny. You know, Ted is the friend that your parents are like, you're not hanging out with Ted today, are you?
Yes.
You gotta like lie and say, oh no, I'm going.
You're not gonna hang out with that talking teddy bear, are you? Who drinks and does drugs?
Oh no, none of that. Or it's like, I imagine Ted be trying to like act cool. I don't even know if he'd be acting wholesome because everything I've seen from the Ted one movie and then even like the first season of Ted, it's like he is just unhinged.
Oh, he is. He is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
A little background information, if you guys are unaware, Ted is the story of a talking teddy bear that is pretty, I'll say raunchy, and his best friend is a boy named John Bennett, who in the films is played by Mark Wahlberg. And then this series is a prequel to the movies. It shows us what their friendship was like back when Mark Wahlberg's character John was in high school. His parents are also main characters, as well as his cousin Blair, who is also living with them in their basement. And have you seen season 1 of the show, Miles?
I've seen episodes. I think I saw like the first 3 episodes so when it first came out. But
episode 4 you got to watch because that's the best one. The Halloween episode.
Of course, I'll stop right before it gets good, but that's neither here nor there.
But you did watch the one where like they paid tribute to the films where Ted is sitting on the couch.
Yes,
and parents come home.
Yes.
And boy, what else happened? When the teacher starts going on a rant about how bad his life is, he goes, yeah, my daughter is having a pregnancy scare because I'm the only one in the house who buys tampons.
Exactly right.
My wife had an affair last year, so in fact we are having marriage problems.
Yes. Oh my God.
Joke's on you, funny man, Ted. Not really quite sure how the joke's on me.
No man, and then Ted like. I think there are these intrinsically funny moments, and then he like elevates the scene.
He does. Like, just some of the lines that he has are just laugh out loud, even if you don't completely understand him. Like there's a scene where he's talking with Mark Wahlberg's cousin. I'll say Mark Wahlberg, even though it's not Mark Wahlberg in the TV show.
Gotcha.
But he's talking with Mark Wahlberg's cousin in it, and he's like, "Do you have any idea what it's like to be the biggest star in the world, and then nobody recognizes you now? I'm Kirk Cameron."
gut laughing.
Just the way he said that.
Something else is like also coming up in the Family Guy era where you're up on Adult Swim, you're gonna see some Family Guy. Like,
oh yes, it's the same humor but in live action basically.
In live action, and then intrinsically Seth MacFarlane's voice is just funny.
Oh, it is.
It's just funny. Like I don't know.
I love that he writes directs, and he's the voice of Ted. It's just, I love it when the stars of these series write and direct it, because it truly shows the passion put into it. And you know whether or not it's going to be a good or bad film, but at least you know the heart was put into it. It's honestly one of the reasons why I love the Rocky films so much, because Stallone wrote all of those and directed 2, 4, 5, and Balboa.
No, yes, and then when there's a level of, I think to be in the creative industry, there has to be passion, but there's a step above passion, which is care. And I think that's what you get when you get, like a Stallone, or in the comedic sense of Seth MacFarlane coming in and doing the directing, the voicing, all of the nine. So.
Can you imagine Stallone doing a scene with Ted the teddy bear?
No.
Hey, yo, Teddy, how you doing? Yeah, pretty good, pal. How about you? Do you think you can have me with some of those boxing gloves or something?
He's like, you couldn't last one round. But that's enough of my Stallone impression.
Your Stallone impression, I'm the one. Oh, well, you know what? It was pretty good. There you go.
Oh, my God. I can't believe I did that. No way, man.
Oh, my God.
No, but I think the last thing, that I'll be excited about for this season 2 of Ted is the way that they will address these high school elements, the high school pressures, you know what I'm saying, of them going into their senior year. Because I remember my senior year, but I didn't have a comedic teddy bear on my side to walk me through some of the themes that go through that year. So
most people have that one friend who will likely get them in trouble, and the goal is to have a lot of fun, but you also don't want to get caught by the authorities. And I think Ted perfectly embodies that.
Yes, so it's gonna be a blast, and that's coming out soon. So
the fact that he's a teddy bear just makes it even more funny.
Exactly, the most innocent looking thing you can imagine is the one doing the most diabolical plots in the universe.
Oh my goodness. Well, Ted is streaming this week on Peacock. And Miles, I think that is going to bring the first episode of Take 16 to a close. Do you have any closing thoughts you'd like to say?
No, but I'm excited I've been saying it in the newsroom, text messaging friends, the 9/2026 is good eats. We are eating well in the entertainment world, from music to movies to TV series. So I'm thrilled, and we got more content coming the way soon.
All right. Well, Miles Deering, I'm Benjamin Slack. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this first episode of Take 16. You'll be able to find the full episodes as well as my full reviews for films that we're going to be covering by going to WNDU.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you all next week.
Welcome to the Undertone Podcast, where we talk about all things creepy.
You shouldn't have called out to her. It's what she wants.